and you see a trend, and then there's one tell. That one is the doji hitting the 200. Is it possible that I'm going to get CeeLo? Well, liberal, white Oregon. It's over. And like that it was gone. And like that it was gone, baby. You might get it next election. You might. But the thing is, what's fascinating is I'm deep right. I'm not like necessarily far right. You see, I accept that I'm an individual and I have individual interests. But one of the keys to this is that I require order. A disorderly place is where somebody like me has a very short life. But in orderly places, somebody like me has a very normal life. A life easily forgotten by history. The deep right looked for the writings of such people. What was it like to live during orderly times? Many, many, many Americans wrote things down. There's all sorts of stories, and we love talking about history. See, we're very competitive about it on the deep right. Knowledge and history. What we're going to call is going to happen. See, that's why we so like Tim Pool in a way, because Tim Pool has these horrible calls. Him and his whole team, they just have these bizarre calls on what's very likely to happen. But Styx Hexenhammer, Tar Warwick, that guy, he understands. He is key, one of the key people to the deep right. He doesn't know he's in it. He doesn't need to be. He is a magician. He is a wizard. He shows up exactly on time, every time. Never late, never too early. And his counsel is often the wisest in the room. Especially when he's speaking to the cats. So, Nike co-founder Phil Knight changes course, donates $1 million to Republican governor candidate Christine Drazan. Oregon's most well-known billionaire appears to have switched allegiance in the governor's race after donating $3.75 million to unaffiliated candidate Betsy Johnson, including $2 million on September 1st. Nike co-founder Phil Knight on Thursday contributed $1 million to Republican candidate Christine Drazan. His gift to Drazan was first reported by Willamette Week. The donation comes as polls have consistently shown Johnson trailing far behind Drazan and Democrat Tina Kotek in the race for governor. A poll in late September commissioned by the Oregonian Oregon Live showed Drazan and Kotek neck and neck with 32% and 31% support respectively, while Johnson registered only 18%. The poll, conducted by DHM Research, had a margin of error of plus or minus 4% points, and 15% of voters remained undecided. A very important thing about Oregon. Oregon has a shockingly moderate voting base. There's a very large portion of people in Oregon. It doesn't matter if they kind of have a herky-durka-durka-dur kind of way of talking. Their brains work fine. That's why they have a house and property. That's what they call it. They have property, and it's kind of a rural place and rural space, and yeah, and a lot of these rural roads are old, and you could tell by driving on them. You could see the way they wind around and stuff, that they've been there a long time. They're wagon roads. So there's this very rural, very moderate kind of people who live here, and that's what tolerant Oregon, as people know. Usually, they've never seen that printed someplace as I had when I was younger. But no, it was that the Dead Kennedys, Jello Biafra, brings it up in a famous piece in one of his albums where it's from a live show, and he talks about being assaulted by the Fred Meyer in, I think, Portland or something like that. And it was, and everybody knows it. There's even, I've been at shows where somebody did it. Somebody did the fucking thing, even with the guitar, you know, and stuff and all that. Ray's guitar broke, you know, and so, yeah, Oregon has a lot of, it's simply, they're the extremist end of people in the Northwest. They're a weird story. And there's a lot of it that's rather unexplained. One of these days it's going to get filled in. There's somebody who's probably about the age where they would have been in their prime years to see extremism in Oregon. And this, when you're here, you're like, this is not really very normal for people here. Like, people here are not really like except for this, for nut jobs. There are a lot of nutters in the Northwest because you can't go any farther unless you go up to Alaska, and that's cold. Insane people don't necessarily like cold. See, Oregon is beautifully it's beautifully temperate, so crazy people could even thrive here, you know. Hey, come on. With Knight's donation, Drazen has now raised about $13.9 million and spent nearly $10.5 million since January 2021, according to state records. Kotek has reported raising $14.9 million and spending $12.6 million in that time frame, while Johnson has reported raising $16.5 million and spending $15.1. So there's a number of different things, links, I think, to Twitter posts. Oh yeah, it looks like I got nuked, y'all. I got clipped. Yeah, I got my stripes. I've been kicked off Twitter. Finally. They would keep being like, oh, can't tweet for a week. And this time they were like, nope. And you want to know why? Want to know why? There's a story out, just hit because of the FOIA requests from Judicial Watch. Turns out the government had a budget of $1 billion that they handed out to influencers and TV people and Hollywood so as to push compliance with vaccination. It's just being found out. So I just made a little quip. You know, it's funny that there's this story. And I sent this over to Dame Pesos, and I said, isn't it funny that this dude who's related to Cenk Uyghur suddenly got fucking rich? Suddenly was balling. Got a mansion and shit. Right about the time this program happened. And then my account got deleted. Now I said some other shit that was pretty off the hook to people. But that one, that, and also there was a story that popped up that I was retweeting, and it absolutely had to do with, like, oh no, okay, I'm gonna have to think about that one. I've got to think how I'm going to look into that again. That'll be interesting. Yeah. So, thought I would put that up. See, deep right, always thinking this is war. This is war, and now we're about to put your party in Atari. Atari is about to happen to you. But you're sitting there probably thinking, what, like Ashland, Portland? No, no, no. That's for me to understand where the stones lay. And then it's for me to take your stones and take your territory. The left has failed. The left failed. I have my own interests. The Republic is awesome. The left would have kicked people like my father to death if they had the chance, asking him nothing, not knowing that he put himself into the dirt, working his ass off to put me through college. Literally, not even figuratively. Literally worked himself to death. And to know that unquestioningly people would accuse him of racism. I know things about my mother that I would never say again, and that meeting my dad made her life a whole lot better. And just to know these fucking people, they think Tupac was the shit, but they don't know anything about De La Soul, Balloon, Mind State. They don't know anything about Midnight Marauders. They don't remember Hello Nasty. They weren't there to see in living color or living color. They weren't there. Now they're these children wearing the NWA and Tupac shirts. And it's like, was that guy even alive by the time you were born? Was he even alive by the time you were born? Come on now. You don't ever see anybody with a Cool G Rap shirt on. It's the real shit. It was the real deal shit. You don't see anybody with a Buckshot Shorty shirt. You never see. I mean, every once in a while you see somebody with a Scarface shirt on. I mean, but you don't see the Ghetto Boy. You don't see Willie D. Say you want to beat down Willie D, but yet you find it difficult to listen to me. Oh, I can't believe I remembered so much of that shit. See, that's what being a liberal does. Instead of your childhood being filled with wonderful music, it's full of black people insulting each other, pimping hoes, beating hoes up, selling dope to their people, and busting caps, snaps, and raps. People don't even know about snapping anymore. I think I paraphrased a Too Short line, something like that. Something that, like, making snaps, spitting caps, some, and Too Short raps. It was, yeah, and it was, I forget, or that was somebody, or it might have been Volume 10. Yeah. I was there. I was one of those people that a lot of you liberals, your mom and dad moved to the West Coast so they could be cool, like everybody, like all of us in our neighborhood or something. Because we didn't know. We didn't know it was cool. We thought we were cool, but we didn't know it was like that cool, that it would affect society in this way. And that one of the things that really, I just got to tell you, is that you all, this was the deal. It didn't matter how deep we were. If we were on the 29 Sunset, if we were on the 18, if we were on the M Ocean View, if we were on the N Judah, because I mean, K Ingleside, it's but sometimes it depends on when, because some cat, sometimes there'd be a posse, but not really. I mean, K Ingleside wasn't that deep. You know, it wasn't that deep really. It was that Ocean View. You got off at the university, or that one little that one stop right after that. But you know, or else you know you had you know it might get deep. You know, you might have a little trouble. You know, who are those? You know, who are those? Who those niggas? Where they from? So anyway, women who are pregnant always got a seat. They always got a seat. It just wasn't. It didn't matter how sagging pants. We were, you know, the fucking starters. You know, hat down. No, please take a seat. And I mean, like even the brothers like were like that. Like you had to have some dirty some dirty moans. You know, you had to be the filthy mo fools. You know, or like some like Bayview heads who were being hell of uncool. You know, it's like, I mean, the only thing I could see is like fools being like that if they were like coming in from the town. You know, and they were just trying to, you know, like just be uncool on the 5 Fulton as they went through the mow. Or the 31 as they're going through the mow or something like that. But I mean, everybody it was just unheard of. And if there was like an old Chinese lady, like dirt old lady, you know, and you're like, no, Bukachi, take the seat. And that's the way we were. And we started to notice at a certain point, we were adults, that there were fewer and fewer people like that. Like there were like super normal white guys. They wouldn't like stand up for anybody. You know, old ladies, fucking pregnant women. You know, like a woman who's young. It's like, you know, it's a little weird. You know, it's like maybe you're trying to spit game. Women were like even sometimes not having it. That was the thing. In San Francisco, women weren't having shit. They weren't having shit. That's why I saw this all coming. I saw all of this. The manosphere made me understand. Like, that's what I saw. That's what I saw. But one of the things is, I mean, even the dudes were like that. Gay guys, like, had no respect. None of the old school respect. And, I mean, the old school fools, like, you even, like, would keep it cool when, like, women were around. Like, there was a certain way, like, if you were acting too foolish, you know, like, they didn't like it. Like the older guys, like like our older brothers and stuff, be like, yo, you know, don't talk like that with mom around. And I'd say, yo, you know, like, and it was. I mean, not even that. I'd say, hey, what the fuck, you know, auntie's here, the cousins are here. Stop talking like that, you know. Yeah, it was a different thing, and it was because you had to keep your game tight. In my generation, Gen X, we were the ones our game got all threadbare. Peasy and threadbare and uncombed. You know, it just got worse. And the West Coast really has